Well, hello everybody. This is Matt Galogli with SRP Medical Marketing, and we're going to wait for people to jump on here in just a few minutes. It's kind of cool to watch the numbers increase on this and the engagement increase. I am coming to you live from our offices here on Mockingbird Lane in what is now rainy and dreary Charlotte, North Carolina. We are in the midst of like a 7-day run of a lot of rain, so not exactly the nicest of weather out there, but hey, we shall survive. At least it's not snowing, thank God. So today what I want to talk to you about is how can you increase, or how to go about increasing the lifetime value of a patient by 4.5 times at a minimum in 90 days. And I'll explain what I mean by lifetime value of a patient in just a minute, and why this is possible. And frankly, folks, doesn't matter if you're a cash-based business or if you're an insurance-based practice, doesn't matter. We can do this in either one of those sectors. So before we go any further, if you would like to talk to me specifically and directly and personally about your specific situation, all you have to do is go to srpmedicalmarketing.com/call, C-A-L-L, to schedule a call with me. It'll be about a 30-minute call, and you and I will get on the phone and we'll talk specifically about your situation. And in that 30 minutes, I'll give you some very specific strategies and steps that you can begin to take as soon as you hang up the phone in order for you to increase the lifetime value of your customer and start to grow your practice and doubling your practice and scaling your practice very, very quickly. That's really the business that we are in. We help medical practices scale. We take you from, we don't want you to struggle anymore. We help you go from struggling to stability and to scaling, all within 90 days. And in many cases, we're increasing the revenues of a clinic, at least doubling them in a year. And in some cases, we're increasing them 4 up to 5 times over what they did the year before. So lots of really, really cool stuff here, adding to our team each and every single day. But let's get back to you. Let's quit talking about us. So here's the thing when I speak with doctors on a regular basis. Doctors come to me and their managers come to me because they want to grow. They want to scale their practice, but they frankly don't know how to go about scaling their practice. They think that scale many times is a direct result of getting more procedures, getting more tools, getting another laser machine or the most updated laser machine, and all of that is fine. But scaling isn't going to come from that. Scaling is going to come from the ability to put yourself on solid footing. It's hard to scale if you have $500,000 or 7 figures worth of debt, which I have seen repeatedly. And quite frankly, we want to make sure that you don't have that so that you can actually get to a place of scale. So, you know, you can have all the tools, you can have all the machines, you can have all the credentialization, you can have all the credits, you can have everything that you want, but you are not going to be in a place where you can scale. So how does one go about scaling? Well, the challenge for many, many doctors is that they're just so frustrated, and they've tried so many things, and they've talked to so many people, and they've had their hopes and dreams dashed over and over again. I find that doctors are pretty cynical. Okay, they really don't believe it when somebody tells them that they can grow their practice or double the size of their practice in 12 months or increase it by 4 times or 5 times in revenue, or pay off all of their debt in an 18-month time frame without taking on a new loan. Most of the time, it's just not real. They just don't think that this is going to happen, and so they doubt it. They don't believe it, and they've been burned so many times that they just want to keep moving past it. They're like, I don't want to spend any more time on this. I'm just gonna struggle here in my own little place. Well, that, unfortunately, when you get to that place where you have the sense that you don't believe anybody anymore, or you don't think that anybody can help you, and you're just gonna muddle through, that, for me, there's really only a couple of options left. Is one, you remain miserable. You stay at the practice and you remain completely miserable, and you just go in and day out, never really getting ahead, just kind of chipping away at the interest payments on the debt on your credit line, you know, hoping and praying for a miracle to come along. That's the first thing that happens, or first option. The second option is that you close. You sell off the clinic. Maybe you'll sell it off to a large group provider. They'll take over your debt. You'll continue to work there, but you'll get a salary. At least you won't have to worry about floating payroll. Okay. At least you won't have to worry about going in further debt. At least you'll get that debt off of your name, and you will, you know, you'll have a job. You'll still be an indentured servant, but you know, at least you'll be able to provide for your family. Well, I'd like to share with you that there's a third option, and this third option doesn't require you to go out and run anymore. advertising campaigns. It doesn't require you to go out and do Facebook. It doesn't require you to change your to change your CRM or your EMR, I should say. It doesn't require any of that. And you don't have to go to an event. You don't have to go to a conference. You don't have to get on a plane. You don't have to do any of that, okay? You have acres of diamonds sitting underneath your feet right now. And those acres of diamonds are your current patient list. Now, when I say your current patient list, I'm saying that anybody that has come into your clinic anytime in the last, frankly, 18 months to 24 months, okay? And the better ones are going to be the ones, obviously, that have spent something, that have done something with you. But we want to increase, and I want to show you how to increase the lifetime value of that customer. So let's talk about what lifetime value is, because I think it's very important for you to understand. Lifetime value is exactly that. If I were to look at the timeline of a patient, and if I were to look at their lifespan with me, how much is that patient worth? It's not just the first time that a patient walks through the door. The key for your success is to drive the lifetime value of your patient. And how do you drive that? How do you double that? How do you increase it by 3 times? How do you increase that by 4 or 5 times? Well, it comes very simply to, you want to deepen the relationship, and you want to drive, by doing that, you will drive lifetime patient value, okay? Every time a patient comes in, I'm going to tell you a story here in just a second, actually, and how I discovered this when I was 28 years old. Kind of a fascinating thing, actually. And it's really how I got my start in this. I'm 51 now at the time of this recording. So I learned this, what was that, 22 years ago or something like that, 23 years ago. And I'm going to tell you specifically about how I discovered that and how I used that to build my first career. But before I do that, I want to remind you that if you would like to talk to me directly about how to double the size, the revenues of your practice, start paying down your debt that's in your name, and in some cases will increase your revenues 3 up to 5 times your current revenue stream. All you have to do is just go to srpmedicalmarketing.com/call, CALL, and you will see a little hook to my schedule, a link to my schedule, and you can book a time to speak directly with me. Over the last couple of days, I mean, I have spoken with people from all over this great country. We're currently working with 6 offices right now to helping them grow their practice. And in some cases, we'll actually consider taking an equity position in some of the clinics, which we have done a couple of times since the beginning of the year. Has to be the right situation, but we can talk about that. If you just want insight of how you can do it, how you can double the size of your practice, I'll give you those insights, actionable steps. It's not a pitch. It's just, I want to help you get out. I want to help you get out of the crazy circle. Okay, so let's go back to this story of how I discovered the importance of lifetime value of a customer, and how you can actually dramatically increase the value of something simply by getting your current customers to spend more each and every single time they walk through the door. So for those of you that don't know, I used to be a golf professional. Okay, yes, PGA golf professional, used to run private clubs. I actually went to college to get my degree in professional golf management, which, you may or may not find amusing. So yes, I went to college to learn how to be a golf pro. And so when I got out of college, I was working with the Marriott Corporation, and I became a head professional at a very young age, 27 years old, was running one of their 36-hole golf resorts on the Jersey Shore. And then I left, and I went to go work with a startup, and I started working at a club called Princeton Meadows Golf Club. I was 28 years old. My wife at the time, we had just a little baby, Megan, our first child. She was maybe a year old or 2 years old or something like that. And they handed me the keys to this property that was doing about $1.2 million a year, and it was losing $250,000 a year. Okay, it's a far cry from running a 4-star resort. And the clubhouse was kind of trashy and smelled, and the golf course wasn't in that great a shape, but it had a great location. And in that area, I won't bore you with too many details, but basically you're going to get the number of rounds of golf. I mean, the golf business is a very difficult business. Basically, you're always going to sell out Saturday and Sunday, right? But the whole key is how do you fill those other weeks? How do you make that work? So what we did was we devised a plan and a concept called One More Time in Their Pocket. Okay, so let me explain. We looked at the average revenue per round. So if you had 100 golfers play on a Saturday, just use this number, how much on average did each golfer spend when they were there, okay? And, they were spending, say, $28 on average when they were there. That included their round of golf, if they bought lunch, if they bought a couple of beers on the golf course, whatever, okay? So we looked at it every single round. We took the total number of rounds and we divided that into the revenue for the day, and we got our revenue per round, and that was a key metric for us, okay? And if you pay attention to me, you'll notice that I always talk about KPIs, key performance indicators. So this was a key metric, a key performance indicator for us. And so what we figured out was that we weren't really going to be able to get more rounds of golf. We really were kind of sort of maxed out. So what we decided is, and we didn't really want to raise our prices for the round of golf. I mean, you raise them a couple of dollars, but nothing. Didn't want to do a dramatic increase because of the pricing structure in the marketplace. But what we did was we decided to train our staff about getting them to buy one more beer. Okay, that was it. Our whole concept was one more beer. How do we get them to reach into their pocket one more time? And we came up with the slogan of one more beer, okay? And a beer could be another hat, another sleeve of golf balls, whatever it was, we wanted them to get one more beer. Now, a beer was $4, I think, $3.50, I can't remember. It was expensive. It was Jersey. So we decided, okay, we want to get into their pocket one more time, one more beer. So what we did was we started driving what was that revenue per round. And when we first started, it was 28. Now, at the end of the year, we didn't have any more golfers come through the door, but we went from 1.2 million in revenue to almost 1.6 million in revenue. We went from losing $250,000 to making $250,000. Okay, so we had a $500,000 swing. We didn't increase the number of rounds and the number of players that came through the door. What we did was we figured out how to get them to reach in their pocket one more time, one more beer. And we took that revenue per round from, it was right around, let's say it was $28, and we took that in excess of $35 to almost $38 per round. And in some cases, we had some days where we were like at $42 per round. So every decision that we made was, how can we get that client, instead of just going out and spending a bunch of money to acquire new clients, to acquire new members, how can we take that and how can we go out and generate one more beer? That was the rally cry. And we always talked about, and it was always like the Bev Cart girls or even the guys in the golf shop, hey, I got a guy to buy a sleeve of golf balls. We would just ask, do you need any golf balls today? We always had a special. We always had some kind of special. Hey guys, do you want one more beer before before the end of the round? It was always something like that. Well, that transformed into me getting promoted very, very quickly, and I went to another club in Pensacola called Perdido Bay Golf Resort, and we did the exact same thing. That one was hemorrhaging cash. We turned that around, same thing. I mean, it was like $12 a round. It was a really low-end golf course, and we took that to like $28 a round, okay? The whole concept, one more beer. How do we get them to reach into their pocket one more time? And so this was kind of how I made my mark as a very young man, is I started turning around golf courses that were hemorrhaging cash, and I was able to get them to a place of one more beer, okay? I tell you that long story because it's very important for you to understand it's the same thing with your practice. How do you get, every single time, you have 15 minutes with that patient, okay? Or you have 20 minutes with that patient, or you have 5 minutes with that patient. What else does that patient need to have a better quality of life that you can get them to do, okay? If you are an insurance-based business, there are other things that you can add from a coding standpoint. There's other ways that you can take that office visit. If your office visit is, your reimbursement rate in your office visit is $60 to $80 right now, you need to pick up the phone and call me, because we can take that from $60 or $80 on your office visit, and we can take that to $400 in a 90-day period. I'm not kidding you. I've seen it time and time again, okay? You can, if you're a cash-based business, I'm going to show you how you can add other things and put in upsells when people are making decisions that can easily increase the value of each and every single patient. So if you want to increase your revenues and increase your profit very, very quickly, all you have to do is sell one more beer, okay? Obviously, you're not going to sell your patients beer. Although that would be an interesting clinic, wouldn't it? Yeah, probably not. Probably get in trouble somewhere. But you want to get them, what else can they have? What else can they buy? What else do they need that you need to recognize to be able to put into place? This is how we were able to consistently grow. This is the same strategy that I've been using for the last 22 years. It is how I've spent literally 15 probably 15 plus years as a turnaround expert in the golf industry or in other businesses. It's how I've taken any business that I've owned and I've grown it very, very quickly. Increase the lifetime value of your patient and increase that significantly. You don't need to go out and run more Facebook campaigns. You don't need to go out, if you have a client base, you don't need to go out and do any of those things. You just need to focus in on how can we increase the lifetime value of the patient every single time they walk in the door. How can we increase that average revenue per visit? Okay, what is that average revenue per visit in a doctor's office, and how do you go about increasing it? All right, now if you would like to talk to me specifically about how to do that in your practice, be it a cash-based practice or an insurance-based practice, all you have to do is go to srpmedicalmarketing.com/call, C-A-L-L, and to set up a one-on-one call directly with me. It's not going to be anybody else. You're going to speak directly with me, and I will talk to you. I'll ask you some questions, and I'll talk to you specifically about how you can do that in your practice starting today. All right. And the best part, you're going to get off the hamster wheel. You're going to be able to pay down that debt. You'll go from doing $25,000 a month to $50,000 to $75,000 to $100,000 very, very quickly. And I've seen it time and time and time again. All right. So check us out, srpmedicalmarketing.com/call. And I will be very happy to talk to you personally and help you transform your practice to a money-making machine and one that scales quickly. Have a great day, everybody. Thanks.